But Bodger. Loney whacking Howe and hit him from behind, knocked him off balance. And then Tocchet hitting Loney from behind. They had words. Loney knocked down Tocchet. In front of the Penguin goal, but Steve Gannett has been tough here when he's had to be, and Cunneyworth and Mellanby now push and shove. That'll be a pretty good matchup there. I'll tell you, those two guys can go pound for pound, Mellanby and Cunneyworth. But they're separated. We'll be back in a moment with a minute to go in the period. The Penguins too, and now they heat up again. Somebody took a crack at somebody. We'll be back. For Derek Smith. He shoots one towards the net and reaching out with the right leg. But Smith avoids that check and now bumps it off the boards. Bodger has gone down. He's gone down about 4 or 5 times. Take a Cunneyworth into Flyers ice, and Greg Smith up to Don Knockbauer. Knockbauer knocked down on the play by Randy Cunneyworth, who upended him. The Flyers deal it up into the Penguin zone. Knockbauer went back after Cunneyworth, trying to blindside him. And I think that's been really one of the big differences on this club. This guy's coming in able to play a regular shift and do a good job, and the Penguins and the Flyers in. Greg Smith, one of the pins is down in front of the Flyers net. Frawley really working against Greg Smith. Randy Cunneyworth belted in front of the net, and he is down on his knees. But Dan Frawley involved here with Greg Smith. Well, we didn't see what happened, but Cunneyworth was down. Myers, and he has been calling a lot of penalties. I don't care. You can get a reading on a referee, and you watched enough of it, and I've got readings on some others too. And Mike Noeth included. Most of the games that he works, you'll see a lot of situations and two-man advantages, and it pretty much holds up. Shot and a good save by LaForest. Reaches with a glove and pulls it in. Robbie Brown belted. Takes the puck. Now Lemieux centers it. Trying to get it back to Quinn. It's poked through traffic to center. Coffey, a penalty coming up here against the Flyers. And Lemieux, Philadelphia will be guilty of this penalty. Shot by Tocchet into the net. Now Zezel digs it free, though, and he's got those great hips and ability to keep his balance. Now play his whistle down as they hold it. Now Buskus and one of the Flyers push and shove. Is it Seabrook? It may well be. Maybe see something come about in the summer months in regard to that. But what it might be a three-way deal. You might see somebody go. Now McElwain, and here is Knockbauer, and he's after somebody. Gets McElwain with the right hand. Don Knockbauer. He'd been looking for that all night long and finally found somebody, and he wheeled the right hand in on Dave McElwain. Don Knockbauer. McElwain trying to get himself free.
Knockbauer's got one of those little short fuses, as it were.
Knockbauer turned around by Dave McElwain and then gave him a shot with a glove. And
as you said, Mike, he just was looking for something there because McElwain just was simply riding him off the play.
And we're back to action now with less than 3 minutes left here in the third period. Philadelphia with Glenn Seabrook. Pretty high draft choice of the Flyers a few years back. He'll leave it at center, and that's whipped in. Now we got a fight breaking out here with Jimmy Mann and one of the Flyers. Who is it? I can't tell you. Jimmy Mann on the ice now involved with Greg Smith. Greg Smith, and he's working over Mann pretty good. Mann gets back up and whacks him. Greg Smith of Philadelphia. Well, Jimmy's going to have an early exit again. He gets all the hot water every night. Smith has already gone to the locker room. Penalties come at 17-12. Flyer bench talking to Jimmy Mann.
Well, one thing Jimmy Mann does when he's not on the ice is yap all night long, and he's yapping to Mark LaForest as he goes off the ice. That's all he does is yap from the bench and agitate.
Nielsen and Loney collide. And now somebody's after Loney. Who was that? Boy, they came right after Troy Loney. Rick Tocchet came after Loney and blindsided him. Al Hill has one of the Penguins down. Tocchet working over Loney from behind. He can't get himself free, and Tocchet just blindsided Loney. Zalapski, and now he's going to go. Zalapski's going to go with Don Knockbauer. This might be a pretty good one. Knockbauer is going for his second bout. He and Zalapski. Zalapski trying to get himself free to throw some punches. Well,
I'll tell you something else too, Mike. Rod Buskus on the bench reached over and grabbed one of the Flyers as Tocchet was hitting Loney from behind, and I think Myers saw it. He made a note, like raised his hand as if to say, hey, I'm going to remember that one. And I wouldn't be surprised if something happens to Rod Buskus here for doing that.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of guys going off early here. Zalapski still and Knockbauer. They've not been able to throw any punches. They're just draped over the bench. Knockbauer trying to get Zalapsky up. He has a neck hold on him. Now they'll come over and try and separate those two. We have Al Hill down on the ice.
Well, I wonder if, in fact, there was an altercation between Loney and Samuelson, and if Tocchet would be the third man in.
Tocchet waiting at the door. He has not gone into the locker room. It's already Zalapsky and Don Knockbauer. Well, I'll tell you, somebody's going to be looking for Mr. Knockbauer, I think, tomorrow. Loney turned Samuelson around. He went right into the boards, and then Tocchet just raced out of nowhere with Loney turned around. They tried to separate him, and Tocchet came in and took his gloves off and took a shot at Troy Loney.
Rick Tocchet not only is the leading scorer on the Flyers team with 30 goals, but he is also a guy with 279 penalty minutes coming into this game, if I'm not mistaken.
The Penguins put on the show tonight. They defeat the Flyers. The final score, the Penguins 7 and the Flyers nothing.